How can you not be excited for the return of Loki? Many of us thought we were saying goodbye at the end of Season 2, but now the actor has dove in a little bit onto him returning to the MCU, taking on Doctor Doom, and even a little bit on Robert Downey Jr.'s return. So let's take a couple minutes to talk about what he had to say, his impact on the larger Marvel Universe, and whether that reunion with Thor is actually going to happen. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I think the Loki television series did a lot for the Marvel Universe and might be one of the best shows they've produced to date. It really carried almost all the weight setting up Marvel's plans for the multiverse saga. It completely served as a multiverse origin, established Kang the Conqueror as an actual terrifying threat versus what we got in Quantumania, and left us off with a decisive story pinning the whole multiverse on his shoulders. Now, this was pretty awesome from a character development standpoint because fans have loved Loki for a really long time, and he's often had that sort of, misunderstood villain aspect about him. The show definitely gave him a character arc that fans could understand and follow, and a real logical path on the evolution of the character. Ironically, he always was destined for glorious purpose, just not in the way he expected, and it definitely contained more purpose than glory. Now, unfortunately, Jonathan Majors getting the boot from Marvel Studios definitely threw things up in the air, and at that point, Kang was swapped out for Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Now, at this point, we have no idea how these changes are going to be explained, but there's no way that Loki's sacrifice becoming this new battery that powers the multiverse is going to be ignored, and it's completely impossible for them to tell this tale without addressing it, directly. I mean, we know Loki's coming back, and with his return, we're all hopeful for that reunion with his brother, but that'll be one scene, and obviously, what he plays into the larger story is going to be much, much more important. Now, recently, the actor sat down with Josh Horowitz, and Tom Hiddleston was asked whether he knew about these plans for Loki when they finished up Season 2 of the series, because, quite honestly, for many of us, it felt like the end. Now, the actor responded, quote, "I didn't know that, so I was sincere in my conviction that I thought it was the end. I wasn't lying to you, I promise. I didn't know then what the plan was. I'm trying to think how long I've known. It's very exciting." Now, honestly, the character of Loki has, been killed off multiple times. In case you didn't know, during the Dark World, they actually killed off the character, but in test screenings, fans really did not like that. Then he was killed in Infinity War, only to return again in his own solo series. Now, Horowitz did a pretty good job at pushing him on whether he's happy with what's in store for Loki and this journey that this particular character has taken. Now, when asked, Hiddleston kind of had a long pause, and then he replied with a laugh, "Yes, I do know some things. It's an extraordinary privilege to still be on the team, and there are more stories to tell. I feel like the character has grown as I've grown. It's genuinely an honor to still be in the squad." Now, like I said, there's no way to tell the story without Loki being key. And we do know Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars went full rewrites, to the point that Kang Dynasty got renamed. Now, it's clear to everybody that Doctor Doom is simply not being swapped out for Kang. Kang was definitely itching for a multiverse war, hence why Loki and his crew had to save the multiverse. Victor, on the other hand, I believe he is going to be looking to save the multiverse, and this will lead to him creating Battleworld, which obviously he'll have to rule for everybody's own good. This definitely will bring those two characters into conflict, and I am really looking forward to the showdown between Loki and Victor Von Doom. Now, actually, in that same discussion, they talked a little bit about Iron Man star Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doom, and Hiddleston, he really did shower some praise on the situation. He said, "It is remarkable, absolutely extraordinary. I didn't know that until the rest of the world knew that. That was something completely under wraps until it wasn't. Robert is synonymous with the MCU. He's at the center of it. It must be very thrilling to come back and play a guy with some different colors." Now, quite honestly, I'm going to be pretty disappointed if Doom just simply kills Loki off, but it would be a great way to establish how powerful the character of Doom is. It might actually work quite better if the God of Mischief takes up a role that was filled by Molecule Man. This gives him a sort of integral part in the greater story. And although we could still see the character die in upcoming Doomsday, I fully expect him, along with his brother and many others, particularly those that may have passed away, will show up ultimately in Secret Wars, because Battleworld allows Marvel to have a completely blank slate, and it would be really keen if not only Tom Hiddleston came back, but along with him, Sylvie, maybe the classic Loki played by Richard E. Grant, and obviously I would love to see Kid Loki played by Jack Vale return to the role. That kid really needs a break. And honestly, if there's room, bring in some alligator Loki. Now, at this point, we're going to follow this pretty closely. Loki might be one of the most popular characters in the MCU, and that has not diminished for a really long time. I attribute this not only to the interesting nature of the character and the writing, but most importantly, how Tom Hiddleston has brought him to life with a level of charisma almost unmatched by anybody in the universe. I can't wait to see him return in Doomsday. We're going to have to wait till late 2026 to find out what's going on, but at this point, I am more than excited. What do you guys think? How big of a part do you think Loki has in the upcoming Doomsday project? And would you like to see him take up a role similar to Molecule Man in the Secret Wars event? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Before we take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC news, and we want to bring you all the news truthfully and transparently, so you're really in the know.